episode 21 of the Circle Back podcast, the show where two great friends get together and just talk about video games. I'm Dan LaMarca, and as always, I'm joined by Dan Dufrenoy. And Dan, we're going to kick it off like we always do. I want to hear what you've been playing.
I want to hear what you've been playing first.
Oh,
yeah, we're going
flipping the script.
Flip it. We're going to have a crazy day.
You son of a bitch.
I want to hear what you've been playing
first. So there's a couple games that I'm pretty excited to talk about. There's one game in particular.
All right, my turn. So I'm going to talk about... No, I'm just kidding.
How dare you? This is unprecedentedly rude.
All
right, there's a game called Minute.
Yeah.
Just came out, I believe, on... I played it on PS4, but I believe it's also on Steam.
Okay.
I love this game. I really, really love this game.
Tell me.
Here's the premise of the game, and it's really intriguing. I'm not going to give away too much, but there's enough where I can talk about it without giving it away. It is top-down, Link to the Past style game. It's black and white, like original Game Boy graphics. Looks like an original Game Boy game, literally. And the whole point of the game is you have 60 seconds to explore, and then you die. And then you respawn in your house, and you have 60 seconds to explore, and you die. Any items, hearts, coins that you get, carry over after you die. Everything else in the world resets. So, except for defeating certain bosses and stuff like that. But you start out in your house, you walk out, find the sword, grab it. All right, now I have the sword from now on. And then, hey, I'm out of time, die, start over. All right, let me go in the other direction. Let me explore this way. Oh, look, there's this person to talk to. They're talking to you. Takes like 10 seconds to get through their dialogue. And then you're like, all right, they told me what I need to do. And you get halfway there and you die.
That's
you're like,
so
all right,
interesting.
now I don't need to hear their dialogue. I just know what they want. So I'm going to go somewhere, do what they want me to do, bring it back. And then, bam, I get a new item.
Okay.
Move on. The thing that's really interesting about this game is the twists it takes, because it has a little Undertale DNA. I don't want to be too reductive and talk about Undertale and how, every game now that subverts your expectations is now Undertale.
Right,
you know what I mean? I don't really want to do that, but this game in particular is definitely of that ilk.
That's so cool.
Not to any extreme extents, I would say. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it has a good sense of humor, good writing, and like I said, some interesting twists on what you think. As you progress through the game, you get different houses that now, I think there are 4, that are now, once you enter that house, when you die, you'll then spawn there instead of your other house.
That is so intriguing.
It's super good.
Whoa.
And it's all screens similar to Link to the Past or the original
you
Zelda, where you'll move over and then it's a new screen, and then you move over and there's a new screen.
Wow.
There's a lot in this game. It's a short game. It's $10, I believe. It doesn't take long. I think the first time I played through it, it was like 3 hours or something.
Wow, okay.
But there's a lot of stuff that you want to see, like every little nook and cranny of the game. And, the thing about it that makes it so special to me is just the ways that it is so perfectly designed to be like, to get from this spot to this spot is like 58 seconds.
Okay.
And it's like, once you know where you're headed, you need to get there efficiently, and then you're in there. It's just...
That is so interesting.
Yeah. It's an amazing game.
How'd you hear about it?
I mean, at a certain point, you can't ask me that question,
because
I hear about every game.
You're
so,
connoisseur of video games.
But it's not that. It's just, I hear about every game that comes out. So the question is from now on banished from this podcast.
You're like the wise wizard of video games.
No, I'm not.
I think so.
But this game is very special, and I think anybody that... the thing about it is, whether you have a fondness for old games, old NES games, like games similar to this, old Game Boy games, things that this harkens to, or whether you're a new player that is just getting into video games, it's like this game has the legs to be a good game for everybody.
That's so awesome.
It's not reliant on what it's, basically drawing inspiration from. It's not reliant on you having experienced that to be fun. But yeah, there's a lot of cool hidden things. There's a lot of interesting areas. And, once you there's like a trophy in the game that's like beat the game in under 15 deaths or whatever.
Okay.
And it's like once like that was my third playthrough, and I did it in like 11 or something. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
interesting.
so you
though.
can
It's
if
such a
you
cool
know where to
premise.
go and everything, it's like incredible.
That's why they call it minute, because it's 60 seconds. And minutes. That makes sense. That's so cool. That
No, it is cool. It is cool.
Dan, I
it's
swear.
MINIT for anyone that's out looking for the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna. There's just so many games. I'm gonna have to check that out though.
It's very good, and it's $10, and it's well worth your money.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It's a special game.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be hanging later
Yeah,
in
at the end of the year when
we'll
we
be talking about it. You know, I think we did a good job last year of giving props to smaller games.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that tend to be near the top of the list are usually bigger games. I think that with this and Celeste
Yeah, no, Celeste,
and Into the Breach, it's like these are all smaller games,
But push
like
up.
indie games,
Yeah.
but they're incredible, all three. So
Okay. I know what I gotta do. I gotta get that, and
I would definitely highly recommend Minute.
I have to make a list once we turn this off and just all the
It's
stuff I
super,
have to get.
and what I'll say is the gameplay itself is extremely simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's move and swing your sword.
I love that though. I
But
love, like you
that's-
said, it's Link to the Past-ish. I love
It
that
is.
stuff. Yeah.
It's really more like original Legend of Zelda, honestly. But you know, most people are more familiar with Link to the Past. So
That is so cool.
yeah, highly recommended. Minute, you can get it now.
Dude, you've opened my eyes to so much. Seriously. No, seriously. I know that sounded so corny. No, but seriously, when it comes to video games, man, really, there's just so many games that I would have never even heard of that game, or it would have flown under my radar. So.
Well, Dan, we do a podcast about video games.
Thank you, wise sage. No, seriously, I'm gonna check that out. Definitely.
Good. I'm glad.
That sounds awesome.
I know you've been playing a game that I love very much. 2 games that I love very much, actually.
games.
So I'm gonna let you
3
pick.
games.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
I'm gonna talk about Until Dawn because I beat Until Dawn.
What'd you think? Final verdict.
Oh man, I loved it.
You loved it?
Well, we were talking about last week, it takes all the those horror tropes from those teenage slasher films, but it's so. I was talking to my sister about this too, because she came down and she watched a little bit. Hi Noel. She came and she watched a little bit with me, and she was like, "Oh, this is so freaky and scary. What's I'm not good. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not good when it comes to super scary tense things. I can go through it, but playing Bloodborne or Dead Space or any of those games, anybody in my house knows when I'm playing a scary game because they'll hear me kind of thing. So
I apologize to your eardrums.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. But so my sister was like, "Oh, what keeps you into it?" And really, what kept me going back was it was so horror cliche, but yet it was somewhat believable and just well written, and the story was good, and you actually care about these characters and how your choices really,
actually impact. Who survives.
Though I gotta say, some of the choices,
they're
you're doomed from the start unless you've played the game 8 times. I can't imagine. For example,
before
Okay.
you do this, there is going to be a portion of this discussion that's going to be spoiler.
Oh, very spoilers.
But I'm saying let's talk about the rest of the game and what your thoughts were first, and finish that up, and then we'll warn you guys when the spoilers are coming, and we'll signal when we're out. So
yeah.
So overall, you liked it.
Overall, I liked it. You said it last week. It did what Quantic Dream was going for, and I think did it so much better. I think it's the perfect Quantic Dream game, even though it's not Quantic Dream.
Yes.
And I really even liked the twist. You think one thing's happening, but then something completely different is happening. You think it's
that's definitely a huge part that we'll talk about obviously in a few minutes. But how many people did you have survive? Don't list them off. Just think about it.
I know 3 people died.
3 died?
3 died.
Okay.
And
yeah.
But in annoying things too, looking up afterwards, what you have to do.
So we're going to jump into spoilers now for Until Dawn. Again, this is a game that's a couple years old by now. You should have played it already, but if you didn't and you're interested in it, play it now.
PS Now, if you have PS Now, it's actually part of the collection there, and that's how I...
It was on PS Plus at some point over the last couple of months.
It's fantastic. It's probably a short game, too. It's probably like 8 hours. Shortish.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
So we're going to go into spoilers now. Skip ahead about 5 minutes or so. We're just going to talk a little bit about it. We'll do a signal. I'll tap Dan's head when there's no more spoilers. All right. Cool. So we're going into spoilers now. That twist though. How good?
Well, that's the whole thing. So the whole time you think. So a little backstory, just really quick. Right. These two sisters. This whole group of kids prank this one sister. She's embarrassed. She runs out in the woods. Ends up both sisters get killed. And the younger brother of these sisters has, he says it's been a year anniversary of their deaths. Let's all just go back to the cabin where we all met last year. Let's just have a good time. Let's enjoy ourselves. And this crazy stuff ensues where there's this crazy killer going after, scaring these people, picking them off one by one, yada, yada, yada. Turns out that the younger brother is actually the killer, but... He doesn't actually kill anybody.
So, the interesting part is it kind of is like a double twist because in the, cheesy horror movie fashion, they basically say, here's a twist, but really this is what's happening. So the brother ended up, you find out that he's the killer, but really he was just pretending to do a bunch of crazy stuff.
He never kills anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right.
I mean, he does some bad shit, and he definitely hurts some people pretty bad with his traps.
Yeah.
But you see the dude wearing like the clown skull mask, kind of thing, and he and using the voice thing modulator, and so you see this guy and you see him like knock out the girl or whatever and drag her in. Yeah. And then there's this part where, you have to choose which direction you want the saw to go.
Right.
It's either going to kill your one friend or kill the brother.
Yeah.
And no matter which you choose...
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It if you go to hit the girl, it'll like malfunction and go the other way.
With her,
and then she gets pissed off, obviously. But you see this like gruesome, it looks like he's sawing into your friend and he's laying there like dead, but really it's just a fake thing.
Body with his head over like a cardboard
thing. And so you end up finding all that out, and he had like a mental breakdown, obviously, and you're like tying him up, trying to figure it out. But then, revert twist, it's this monster called the Wendigo.
The Wendigos, yeah.
Yeah. So the Wendigos basically are these like fabled creatures. Like they actually have real like origins in the past of like, as much as like a vampire does, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it is a real like mystical, fake creature. But so it ends up becoming, oh shit, they're actually, because you think, oh man, he killed all these people. No, he didn't. He was just messing around.
Right. It was
but wait, someone's actually dying. So what's going on? And then you find out it's a Wendigo. And it's really good, and I think there are a lot of good tense moments with the Wendigo near the end. But so how do people die? I want to hear who died.
So the nice kid Matt, the kid who had like the college, jacket and stuff, who's dating Emily. Yeah. There's this one scene.
His is really hard to avoid, right?
I don't even know what. To, so like So the issue is people die once they leave the cabin. Once they like leave the cabin, that's when the Wendigos are. So him and his girlfriend leave. You go up this radio tower trying to signal for help. The radio tower like collapses. So you have a choice whether for you to jump to safety or for you to save your girlfriend. So I'm like, oh well, like I'm gonna go save my girlfriend. So I try to save my girlfriend. Not working. You have the choice again. Do you jump to safety or do you save your girlfriend? I say, oh, I'm gonna save my girlfriend. So I try to save my girlfriend. You end up falling off. A Wendigo freaking takes you and puts you on a hook. Puts you on a hook. Yeah. I don't know how you're supposed to know that. You turn out that your girlfriend was going to be safe anyway. She was going to fall and be okay.
But part of this game is you're not supposed to know that.
You're not supposed to know that.
Like they don't want you to be able to min-max every single decision, but some of them, you're right. Some of them are not clear of what's going to happen, but I think that's okay because.
Replayability is definitely a huge thing.
All right, so you got Matt dead.
Ashley, there's like you're walking through a thing, right? You're walking through a corridor with your friends, and you hear someone going like, "Help me, help
yeah.
me!"
And you went up?
And I'm just like, "Oh crap! Like, who is this? Like, let me go make sure everything's okay." You walk in, you open the door, and a Wendigo shows up and rips your head off, and you're like, "Wait a second! I was trying to do a nice thing. Like, I was trying to be nice."
That's what you get.
And the younger brother too. I didn't know how to save him. The younger brother got taken away.
That's one of the tough ones. I don't know if you can. Maybe
I found out.
you can.
Spoilers? No.
Spoilers.
No. Yeah, we're already in the spoiler thing. I found out though, because I found out that their sister was because the spirit of the Wendigo shows up whenever anybody reverts to cannibalism, and apparently the sisters fell down this
and they
cave.
didn't die right away.
They didn't die right away,
And one of them ate
one of the sisters ate the other
she
one.
became a Wendigo.
She became a Wendigo.
Yeah.
So I found the journal that said, I'm so hungry, like I'm gonna eat my sister, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when Rami Malek, who plays the younger brother, when the Wendigo's with him, she recognizes him and she drags him away. I didn't know if there was a way to save him or not.
I'm not sure. That might be the one where you can't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But so you saved Jess though?
I saved Jess. Yeah, Jess. Jess
is a common death.
Really?
I think, yeah.
I was proud of myself because I remember I read through the whole book. You get the book that you run into this guy who's he's the master of the Wendigos. He knows how to capture them, and he's been studying them for years. He ends up dying, but he leaves you his notes. And I read through all of them, and the one thing was hide and just stay still because they can't see when you stand still. So with Jess, I just hid the whole time and just tried to stay still as much as I could.
Well, a lot of people, she dies by not getting there fast enough with the big dude. What's the dude's name?
Oh, Matt. Wait.
Not Matt, the other dude, Mike.
Oh, Mike, I'm sorry.
When you're chasing her with Mike, when she's being carried off, she dies there usually.
Oh, really? No.
If you don't take the fastest paths.
Oh, yeah, I always take the fastest path.
Sometimes you get there.
I'm gonna be super brave.
Sometimes you get there, and right when you get there, she falls down the elevator and her jaw snaps off.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, so I think that's enough for the spoilers.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's a good game. I love that game.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, seriously, really enjoyed it. Definitely, I'm glad I played it. You're absolutely right. See, you're just like I said, you open up my world, man. Seriously.
I played another game that came out. I gotta actually look up. I want to look up when it came out because I don't remember if it's last year or the year before. But a game came out just for Steam at first. It's called Owlboy. And it came out to a lot of fanfare. A lot of people really enjoyed the game. November 1st, 2016. Yeah, that's what I thought. So people really liked that game. I remember the year that it came out. A lot of people were talking about it. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily for Game of the Year, but on their top 10 list, stuff like that. Again, I just got this PC recently. And it was hard to play certain games. Either they weren't available for Mac, or my stupid little MacBook wouldn't play, certain games. Mm-hmm. So I never played Owlboy. Just came out on PS4 and Switch, I believe. I played it on PS4, and I just started. I'm not deep into it,
okay.
But I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah?
I think it is one of the prettier pixel art games I've ever seen. And it's got an interesting story. You start out as this owl boy, obviously, but you're being trained, and you're basically just shitty at being an owl. And you want to be good, but you're just not good. You're like the runt, right? So your teacher's frustrated with you, trying to show you all these things and how to fly properly and whatever. And he's just like, man, you're a failure, blah, blah, blah. He's really ridiculing you. And so what happens is you go to your friend, and in the beginning, you're just flying around. You can't really do anything. There's not much of an attack. There's a spin attack when you're super close. And there are no enemies in the beginning. But then you realize when you meet your friend, the real crux of the game is you fly around and you're carrying another partner in your talons. And then it becomes a dual joystick shooter.
No kidding.
Platformer, yeah. So the guy that you carry, your first buddy, I forget his name. It's Teddy or Reddy or something. He has a gun in his hands, and while you're carrying him, you use the right stick to aim and right trigger to fire. And so you're flying around with the left stick and you're shooting with the right. And it's actually really cool. And from what I heard, I haven't gotten any other partners yet. Mm-hmm. But from what I can see on the select screen, you get different partners that have different abilities, I would assume. So again, I'll check in with that as I play it more, but I've really liked what I've seen so far. I'm definitely intrigued, and
That's awesome. I mean, I never played it, but I love the graphics of it. It's very Super Nintendo-ish. Like I like that
it's
sort
beautiful.
of like
It's very nice. The music is very good so far. I like the character and the writing is really nice. It's just a good. It's like a really nice indie platformer.
That's
you
cool.
know what I mean? Like a Metroidvania type thing. So I'm assuming as you get different characters to carry or whatever, you'll get to unlock different areas and stuff like that. So, definitely seems like a pretty good Metroidvania, but like I said, I haven't played that much. I played maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but I will play more and I'll check in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I know you have been playing another game that I love that we've talked about on here many times, Bloodborne.
Yeah, still playing it. I mean, it's a very long game, so I'm sure I'll be talking about it for the next few weeks.
I want to hear the updates.
Oh, man, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Last time left off, I was stuck at the shadow of Yarnum Boss, and everybody has played Bloodborne. They know that it's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever
finally
do
got through 'em?
in your entire life. Oh, man. It's, one boss is bad enough, but you have 3 of them, like, all at the same time.
Yeah, it's tough.
Beat them. Well, I gotta say, I had some help. I have, like, 53 insight, and I was just like, you know what? Like, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna, like, use my beckoning bell. And shout out to...
Does that use insight? Or does it? Okay.
Yeah, to use 1 insight each time you use it. So, like, I'll, like, fight a boss, like, 15 times, and if I don't get it by then, I'll be like, I need some help. So, like, what was her name? Her name was... It was, like, Katie Grace 321. And I didn't know how to do the gestures, so, like... I learned how to do the gestures, so I, like, when she showed up, I, like, ran around in a circle. I hope she knows that I appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
I'm sure she's listening.
Yeah, she's one of our 23 subscribers. But, anyway, she helped me. We beat Shadow of Yarnum. You open up this whole new area, Bergenworth. Did that. That was tough, because the enemies there are hard. There's a hunter inside, like, the college, really, really tough. But that leads you to who you mentioned earlier. I remember saying Rom, the vacuous spider boss, which for anybody that's arachnophobic, definitely not the kind of boss you want to.
A lot of spiders.
It's like this huge, like, caterpillar-looking thing, and he summons all these, like, or she summons all these spiders to come after you. But actually, I did that without any help. I did that on my own. It took me about, like, 10 tries. I was like, so I grinded a little bit. I got to, a good level, and finally took Rom down.
But you're skipping what I thought was one of the most interesting things in that game was when you jump into, when you're, like, sitting in that area and you're like, what the hell do I do? And some guy is like, just jump in. And he does something,
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And then you, like, no. And you jump into this lake-looking thing, right? Is it a lake?
Well, that's the thing. So you walk out. And then there's a smoke screen, so you can't get out. And you're like, oh, how am I supposed to, like, get out of here? And there's this big guy sitting in a chair, and you go to talk to him. He takes his cane, and he goes, like, and he points to, like, this ledge. And you're like, oh, there's nowhere to go. There's water. That's going to kill me. And you're right. I'm sorry. I completely missed that. You walk, and you see the moon. You see the moon's reflection, and it looks like it's, like, lighting up in the bottom. So you jump into that, and it takes you into this,
and
like,
it just, like, fades through, and you go way further down. That was really cool, because that kind of is the turn in that game where it goes from just being this, like, gothic thing into being, like, all of a sudden Lovecraftian.
Well, that's
like,
the thing, and it feels
from
like,
then on, it has a lot more overtones of that.
Well, because exactly the first, like, part, I feel like I guess I'm halfway through. First half of the game is very, like, Bram Stoker-ish, like, very, just like cathedrals and, like, creepy, like, like things like that.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, then you fight Rom. You're transported into this, like, place, and there's this freaking spider looking thing, like, freaky.
Where was it?
Freaky deaky. Well, first off, they're all over the place now, but, like...
It's because of your insight, you know that? If
no.
you have low insight, you can't see them.
Really?
Yeah. They've been there all along. But that one spot, have you gone back to the cathedral?
Yeah, and there's one just hanging on there.
He was always there. You just couldn't see it because of your insight.
Oh, well, when I first got to the cathedral, like, some invisible thing, like, took me and, like...
Grabbed me,
yeah.
Killed you?
That was that. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Because, once you defeat Rom, the blood moon phase shows up, and it's beautiful. It's like this huge red moon, purple sky. Enemies, I gotta say, dude, after you defeat Rom, enemies are just the hardest. Like
the regular
the
enemies?
difficulty spike. Like, I don't know if you had the same issue. Like the difficulty spikes like way up.
Yeah.
And,
I don't remember.
And yeah, and you walk around. First thing you like transport to like this bath, and you look up, and there's that big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got like 85 eyes and like like super it looks like a Cthulhu-esque kind of just like tentacles and like arms and yeah, and you go around. I got a few things that I did because the first village you get to, it's Yargul, I think, unseen village right after you fight Ram. And that's the one where the enemies keep respawning. Like it just gets very, very hard. You got to get the women with the chime bells. You got to get rid of them before.
I remember that. Yeah.
But anyway, I was having such a hard time with that. You're running around, and like I said, there's all these guys. I don't even know what they're called. They're like hanging on the walls. There's like every corner you look, there they are. Can they kill you?
They grab you if you go under their arms.
Ooh.
They don't come down and attack you. They'll grab you though.
It's so freaky.
Yeah.
But I was having so much trouble, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna grind a little bit. And this is where the coolest thing happened was I was like, I'm gonna grind a little bit. I'm gonna try to upgrade my weapon. You need to get like these shards to like upgrade, and I needed like twin stone shards or whatever. So I looked up. I said, oh, what area like you think you have the best way to drop? And this was the freaking coolest thing ever. So someone said, oh, go to the Hemwick Charnel Lane where the witches are. And like I hate that level. Like it's just so freaky to me. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get some twin bloodstone shards. This was the coolest thing. Like to me, even cooler than the lake. So I'm fighting. I'm in like this area, and out of nowhere, this carriage shows up, and it's like an empty carriage, and the door opens, and there's nobody in it, and I'm like, oh, do I take this? Like I don't know what to do. So I go into it. And it takes me to like this like snow area with like this castle. To me, that was like the coolest thing. I was just like, like this? Like I could have totally missed this if I never decided to come back here.
Yeah.
And went there, again, so hard, so tough. There was
so that's a big, what do you call it? Like a reference to the Dark Souls. There was a Dark Souls area that was similar to that.
Oh, really? I think it's called Canehurst Castle.
This is Canehurst Castle. It's not the same place, but it's very much inspired by it with the enemies and the...
Yeah. And then you go there. I fought this guy, Martyr Ligarius. So hard.
Ligarius is tough.
Again, after 15 fights, I was just like, all right, summon... Oh, who helped me? I forget. Whoever it was. Thank you. But anyway, beat that. And then again, another cool thing, right? Where you're like, okay, I beat the boss. It was optional, whatever. I'm going to go back to Hunter's Dream. Oh, wait, I got a crown. Let me put it on. You put the crown on that Ligarius is wearing. And then you get like a whole new area. You go up the stairs. You meet the Queen of the Vile Bloods. Question. I've taken the oath of the Vile Bloods. I've taken the oath of the guy in the Forbidden Woods. I met... the Alfred, I've joined the church. When you join all these places, like, does it have any repercussions, or is it just extra people on your side?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Like, will someone from the church hate me because I'm with the Vile Bloods, or someone from the Vile Bloods hate me because I'm in the church?
If I'm remembering correctly, I think there are certain factions that you cannot join if you're with others.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think that it will like let you join and then be like, why would you join?
Like someone will be hostile.
I don't think so. Again, I'm not positive. It's been a long time since I've done all that, but yeah, that stuff has always been some of the most interesting stuff, even in Dark Souls with all the different factions and stuff. I really like that idea of like seeing these people and talking to them and figuring out what they're all about. Yeah, so you went and joined the Vile Bloods.
I joined the Vile Bloods. I don't even know what they stand for or whatever, but I was just like, yeah, whatever. So I do that. And then I went back. So by then I was like decently leveled up. So I went back to Yargul, the Unseen Village, and I did really, really well there. I fought the Parl Dark Beast or something like that, or Dark Beast Parl or whatever, the electric guy. Yeah. That was actually, not trying to brag, that's probably like that was like a nice easy boss fight. Like,
I think you can fight him a lot earlier.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because he's in the same area as the...
Old Yarnum. You open the doors and you're in Old Yarnum.
Yeah, so you can get there if you went like up a hill on a certain way.
Gotcha.
You could have fought him like
way
5 bosses ago, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And now I'm right now I got to the point where like there's the huge skull guys, like they're like the conglomerate of skulls and the little boxes. And that's what I'm up to now. Looking for the boss of Yarnum. Unseen Village.
Nice.
So that's my. I'm loving it though. How far do you think I am? Do you think I'm close to the?
You're getting there. I don't know the exact number, but I would say maybe you have around 6 to 7 bosses left, something like that.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit more, because near the end they kind of come a little more rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one area in particular that you're nearing that is super frustrating.
This area was super frustrating. With the enemies respawning and oh my gosh, where you have to fight the 300s that come after you.
Yeah, that's tough.
That was the worst.
That's tough.
I spammed it. I ran into a building and they were outside the walls and like I just like.
Wait,
used
is that where they throw the spikes at you from far away or no?
There's 3 of them. One guy.
Not them. Like, are you getting hit by something that you can't see in that area?
That's in the Caner's Castle.
Huh.
I think. That definitely happened in Caner's Castle.
While you were like walking in the world?
I was in that library looking area. Like it looked like a huge library.
Okay.
Maybe it happens again.
It might happen again, because there is usually in that series there's a giant that's throwing things.
Okay.
And you have to kill the giant in order to stop getting hit by that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what game that was. Maybe it was Demon Souls or Dark Souls 2. I forget. But there was an area where like a giant's like chucking these huge spears, and you're getting hit all the time. You're like, what the hell? And then you like end up seeing like the trajectory, and you're like, I gotta get up there, and you get up there. It's a giant throwing spears.
Oh my goodness.
But this one, the area I'm thinking of, gets you frenzied, right?
Oh, well, that's happened to me so many times already. It's a pain in the.
But these things, they're these little spears that'll like hit you a bunch, and it'll get you frenzied.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
Because I had that in the Caner's Castle where I'm climbing up a ladder, and there's it looks like a cross like on the back of your head, like red.
Oh, I know what you're talking
it's
about.
Like and it takes down all your stamina or whatever.
Yeah. Huh. All right. You'll see when you get to it.
I'm loving it though.
Enjoying it still.
I'm freaking loving it to death. Actually, I don't hate. I like the grinding. The grinding's okay. It's just like it
can be a little much.
It can be a little, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I played Earthbound, and that was probably like the craziest grinding I've ever done in my entire
Honestly,
life.
the thing about Bloodborne and the Souls games is they put the grinding in there if you feel you need it. Like, there's never a boss. Like, you see people.
If you have enough skill, yeah, you can do it.
But you see people that do it, at level 1, beat the whole game. So it's like, it can be frustrating if you're struggling, but it's like, at least it's in there, and it's not just like a wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I've always viewed those games. It's like, the grinding is kind of like, if you feel like you need it, do it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like I said, my plan is I think I'm gonna beat it. Like I said, I never beat Dark Souls. I'm ashamed to say. But Bloodborne just for some reason has that thing that like it's just so. No offense to Dark Souls, but it's just so much more interesting to me. I think Bloodborne. And I think part of it's just I like that gothic. And now that Lovecraftian, that just creepy, weird.
Bloodborne, the aesthetic is really, really good.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, I love on more of a mechanical, level design level. But I think the story behind Dark Souls is actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
When you get to the end, especially when you're fighting when you're trying to get the main souls, I forget what they're called, the big souls. But
yeah.
All right. Glad you're
enjoying
Bloodborne.
That's it. But now I got 85 other games I got to play for next week. So
yeah. We'll see. Last game that I've been playing for the week is a game that is the most popular game in the world right now, Fortnite. I love PUBG. I've talked about PUBG on this podcast quite a bit. And I never wanted to give Fortnite a chance because I felt like their business practices around actually making this game was kind of shitty. The Battle Royale mode specifically, I mean, not like the original mode that it was. But I never really wanted to give it a shot because I was like, I love PUBG. That's my game, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, my buddies that only have PS4, it's like I can't play PUBG with them right now. Mm-hmm. So it's like I was kind of itching for a new multiplayer game, looking for something. And I was like, you know what? Let me just try Fortnite. And I think... So I like the game.
Okay.
I don't love it in the same way I love PUBG. But it scratches that same itch, obviously. It's a Battle Royale game. And the things that I like about it are it's like super polished and really well made. Whereas PUBG is like a fucking mess. You know what I mean? And that's nice. That goes a long way. Like being positive that the frame rate is going to hold steady, and the graphics look beautiful, and this and that. The things that I don't like, and again, I haven't played that much of it, so this isn't like, PUBG I played 100 hours of, so it's like, what am I going to... But it's like, the shooting doesn't feel that good.
Okay.
There's a combination of I don't know enough when I'm getting hit. Like, it's not enough feedback when you get hit. Like, you get hit, but it doesn't have, like, the weight of, like, oh, shit, I'm getting hit. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden I'm at 50 health, and I had no idea, what happened. And it's also that the actual, like, aiming and shooting is just weird in that game.
Okay.
It doesn't feel... It's not satisfying. It's weird. I feel like in PUBG, it's like every shot that you hit, you're like, oh, that was a good hit. Like, when you're making these hits. This, I don't know if it's the style of the game or if it's the graphical visualization of it, but it feels like you're just... The only reason you hit somebody is because a number shoots off them.
That's it.
Like, you don't have that feedback.
Oof.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's... I mean, obviously it's super popular, so I'm not...
Yeah, I feel like everybody I've talked to, that's the only, oh, do you like video games? Yes, I love Fortnite.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
No, but a good reason. It's a very polished game.
Yeah.
It's free. It's a good game. It's well made. I also just am not... I don't know if I don't like the building or I'm just not good at the building, but... God, it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, why the hell are we building all this shit? It's annoying. But, I've seen some high-level players. I've watched some streams and stuff, and it's like, seeing those guys, the way they can build so quickly and get to where they want to go and, like, build different paths so the person they're fighting doesn't know which way they're going to go. It's like, it's pretty impressive, but it's like, maybe it's not for me. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm going to play it some more because, like I said, I want a good multiplayer game to play it with my PS4 guys, so... I'm gonna stick with it. I see the appeal, and it has that, like, earlier this morning I played a match and I got to number 6, and it's like it has that same, like, when you're down to it, it has the tension.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh shit, because that battle royale formula is a fucking good one. Like, it's a fun one, and it has the tension built in no matter what kind of game it is. So, Again, I'm a PUBG guy, but I think with some more time invested in this, I think I could get it.
Yeah, a little Fortnite?
Yeah.
Not bad.
But I'm always playing, I'm always looking for multiplayer stuff to play with friends. So, ever since Overwatch, it's been like, what's the next game? Rocket League, Overwatch.
Okay, yeah.
Like, these are, like, I still play Rocket League with my friends.
Rocket League's fun.
And I play PUBG on Xbox, and so it's like, Fortnite might
be
hang
part
around
of
for a little bit.
The pantheon.
Yeah. But I will also quickly mention Cliff Bleszinski of Gears of War and Unreal, and he just put out Lawbreakers recently, and that game was zero fanfare. But he just put out a battle royale game that's trying to compete with Fortnite and PUBG, and it looks like trash. It looks bad.
Wait, do you like the Gears of War?
Do I like Gears of War? Yes, I like Gears of War. I'm not a humongous fan, but I like those games, yes. But yeah, they just put it out. It literally just came out earlier this week, I think. So, we'll see if they make any good changes to that. But from what I've seen, it looks unbearable. It looks like the worst kind of 80s jokes imaginable. But we'll see.
No bueno.
We'll see how that turns out. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap on what we've been playing, unless you have anything else up your sleeve.
No, not that I can think of. I know the games that I have to...
Yeah, you're getting ready for next week?
Getting ready for next week.
All right. So, with that, I want to jump into Metal Gear Corner.
Yeah, I forgot my notebook.
Unbelievable.
But I didn't get that far, so it's gonna be fine. Where do we leave off? We left off with Fortune.
Yep.
And Vamp.
Mm-hmm.
And Fortune wants to die, and Vamp can't die.
Yeah.
So they have each other. Maybe they're in love.
The dichotomy.
It's a beautiful thing, love. It's just like a very beautiful thing to find that one special someone. Anyway, so where we left off is Fat Man's going crazy, right? And Vamp and Fortune know it, and Fat Man's calling Raiden out. Okay, so Raiden says, okay, I gotta go take care of Fat Man, because Fat Man has this one bomb that's ready to detonate Big Show. and I don't know why they want to detonate Big Shell. I'm sure you find out. Maybe I missed it. They just want to detonate Big Shell, especially Fat Man. He's dead set against destroying Big Shell. So Raiden leaves Fortune and Vamp to, go fight Fat Man. You run around. You only have like. It was so funny. They do the timers. It's like you have 400 seconds to, and you're like, oh crap. But then you still have like 370 seconds to like to spare. Yeah. Like it's never that bad. So
yet. No, we'll see. Okay.
So anyway, so you go. Fat Man's on the heliport, and you run there. You get on top, and you're right. Fat Man's freaking interesting.
He's the best.
He's the best. So,
what's his quote? Let's hear it. What does he say? When you first meet him. Oh, come on, Dan.
I just said he's like, I'm an artist, that one? Or...
Well, he has a glass of wine.
Well, he has a glass of wine with
and
a
he's
straw
on,
in
like,
it.
rollerblades.
He's on roller skates.
And he goes, drink and be fat. And he drinks his wine. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
You know what he looks like? You remember in Star Wars Return of the Jedi when Luke's with Darth Vader and he takes off the helmet and he's got the hat and, it's like the bald head with the veins.
Yes,
that's what
Fat Man does look like.
That's what Fat Man looks like, and he's got the glass
I can't
of
believe
wine.
You didn't remember Drink and Be Fat.
No, but like there he is. Like the way they do it, you just see like these roller skates like going by, and then like he skids like all like cool 1995. Daniel trying to be cool on roller skates, and he goes on about how, he's an artist and he wants to be the best of the best. So he's going to destroy...
Oh, laugh and grow fat. That's what he says.
Was that what he says? Laugh and grow fat?
Laugh and grow fat. Oh. God, I love him.
And so anyway, so he... where was I? I had lost my train of thought. Anyway, so he talks about how he's an artist and he's got to prove that he's the best of the best. And if he destroys Big Shell, they're going to make movies about him. He's the greatest explosives man in the entire world. So Raiden's not gonna stand for that. So this is probably one of the most annoying boss fights ever.
Where you gotta find the bombs?
Ever.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, because so he plants all these bombs, and you gotta go use this coolant that you got. Go freeze the bombs. But at the same time, he's roller skating by. It looks like a grid. And there's all these these huge boxes 4 spread out, 4 spread out, 4 spread out, and he's just going up and down, through and through, shooting you while he's on your roller skates. So you got to disarm the bombs, and you got to go find him, and then you got to shoot him. And it took me a few tries because I didn't know that you could. I mean, I knew you could, but I didn't know how to do it. That you could go into first person mode and shoot him at his head and take more damage. I didn't know that, so I'm just hiding and trying to shoot him, and it's only taking that much of health down. But eventually, I did it. I beat Fat Man, and again, as he's dying, he goes on his whole spiel too bad you won't see the movies, about me, because I have this one huge fat bomb or whatever that's going to go off, and, it's going to destroy the whole place. And Raiden's like, damn, I got to go find this. So I'm running around trying to find it. I'm going through all these places. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Fat Man uses odor to, that's his trademark with his bomb. So I use the sensor to detect the odor, and it's actually right under Fat Man. Yeah. So you gotta drag him. Even the animation too, when Raiden's dragging him, it's not just pick him up. He's just
he's a fat man.
Anyway, the bomb's there. You disarm that. Fat Man's dead. But I gotta say, he left an impression on me, like a psycho mantis,
he's
it was
the best.
Quick, but really,
he's just such a weirdo.
Yeah, completely.
So here's what I want to ask you, because I never asked you: have you ever tried non-lethal on bosses?
No, I didn't know you could do that.
You didn't notice they had 2 different health bars?
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. He had the.
They all have 2 different health bars. You don't have to kill any of them.
I didn't know that.
I was waiting to see if you're gonna notice, but you didn't notice.
No way.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, please. What happens to Fat Man if you don't kill him?
I can't tell you that.
Oh no, I gotta play the game again.
All right. So what else you been doing after that? Is that all you got to?
Damn it. No. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about this though. Cyborg Ninja's back. I am so happy about that.
Homie,
He's my
Cyborg
all-time
Ninja.
favorite Metal Gear character. I already hands down. So you're walking along, and out of nowhere, Cyborg Ninja shows up, and he's Mr. X, and Raiden's like, who are you, kind of thing, and he just says, "Listen, I'm just a friend. You know, the terrorists are going to destroy Big Shell." Apparently, Big Shell is like its own nuclear weapon, and you find out that they're housing a new Metal Gear, and that's the big thing. Like
Did they say
Raiden,
anything about the Metal Gear?
he mentions the one on Shadow Moses Island. He mentions how they replicated that exact one and how they're housing it. And Raiden's like, wait a second, this wasn't what I was told. It's very like reminiscent of the first game where like, you know, Solid Snake was kind of like used. Raiden's like, wait a second, the Colonel never told me this. Like, I didn't know this was my mission. I didn't know that this was here. How come I'm in the dark? What's going on? And Cyber Ninja says, listen, we gotta stop Metal Gear. But at the same time, you gotta save the president. The only way to get to the president is through this guy named Ames. Go find Ames. You know, here's a terrorist outfit. Wear this. You gotta be camo just to get in to speak to Ames. Anyway, so that happens, and in the meantime, afterwards, Cyber Ninja disappears, all Batman-esque. You know, where he's like talking. He's like, you know, Raiden turns around and he's gone, and that's about it. You know, he talks about, you know, Metal Gear, and then Raiden talks to the Colonel, says like, you know, do you know anything about Metal Gear? You know, do you know what's going on? And of course, the Colonel, being the Colonel like he was in the first game, is just like, oh, you know, don't worry about that. Like, we're just gonna, you know, just go for the president. You know, don't worry. And that's all as far as I got. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, that's good.
But I was looking up,
getting there.
and we'll talk about it coming up. So I was looking up some like things that like you could miss in like Metal Gear 2, and like some of the things that you can do, like so crazy. Like apparently like there's hostages, and like if you look up a girl's skirt or something like that, like you can do that. Your girlfriend Rose will get like pissed off at you and be like, Raiden, how could you? Like apparently like that like stuff is like feasible, which is so weird and
Can't get the old Japan out of these games.
it's just like
Crazy.
oh my gosh, the game's on crack. But
yes,
that's as far as I got. So
all right, cool.
left off, we know that Metal Gear's on the island, on Big Shell.
Yep.
Cyber Ninja's back. I'm so happy, and I
Good.
can't believe that you can do non-lethal. Damn it!
Is what it is, then. You have to figure it out from here.
Freaking killed Fat Man.
All right, so that will conclude our Metal Gear Corner with Dan
Metal
for the
Gear
week.
Corner.
Next week, we'll check back in with you. And since we have just a little bit of time left for the episode, I think what we should do is kind of do a review wrap-up for a very anticipated upcoming game that just recently reviews came out for, God of War for PS4.
Oh yeah.
So I'd talked in the past about a lot of critics and game journalists and stuff like that were on Twitter being like, hey, I'm really excited to talk. Here's when we can talk about God of War. So I had mentioned to you, I'm like, I think this game is going to be really fucking good. The way people are like excited to talk about it like this, it's kind of crazy. So reviews came out. Right now it's sitting at a 94 out of 100 on Metacritic based on 82 critics.
That's amazing.
So it's pretty fucking high, I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm curious if any negative reviews on here.
It's by far the highest of the year. Not a single mixed or negative review.
Really? There's no negative on there?
No. The absolute lowest review on this list has it at 80 out of 100.
Wow.
So if the low end is an 8, and there's only a few, yeah, I think we're looking at a pretty beloved game here. I just want to go through quickly. I saw IGN gave this game a 10 out of 10. Polygon gave it a 10 out of 10. US Gamer 10 out of 10. So, you know, pretty reputable sites giving it a 10 out of 10 because you'll always see some 10 out of 10s from some funky sites.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everybody, even Destructoid 10 out of 10. Game Informer 9.75. You know, everybody is basically in love with this game. And the thing that's exciting about it is, you know, I've seen a lot of games that are very highly reviewed that I'm not that into, Grand Theft Auto 5, whatever. But the things that people are talking about with this game make me very excited. I haven't read any spoilers, obviously. They shouldn't even have any fucking spoilers. The game comes out a week from now. But the things that I'm hearing are the combat is still amazing. It's a lot heavier, a lot weightier, but it's still a lot of fun. That's the thing that God of War did right in the first 3. But the thing that differentiates it is the cinematography, the story.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of good things about the son-father relationship and how I've heard people talk about I think it's Atreus. Atreus is the son's name, something like that. But he is kind of the audience surrogate, from what I'm hearing, where Kratos is being an asshole, and his son will be like, "What is wrong with you? You know, like, why are you the way you are? Like, shouldn't you try to love people and do whatever?" So it's kind of like, from what I'm hearing, it's a nice back and forth, and everything you're thinking from the original God of War games, we're like, "What the fuck? This dude sucks." Like Atreus is kind of saying,
that's
and
awesome.
being like,
"That's really cool."
Yeah, and there's a lot of, from what I'm hearing, that's the crux of this game is the relationship between the two. Obviously, I mean, everyone knew that, but I heard the Norse mythology is done very well. It's done in the same dark tone as the original games, but without all the gratuitous.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of hyper-violence in this game, but I think it's... Think about the old God of War games where you're like tapping R1 and L1 really fast to like peel this ogre's eyelid off, you know what I mean? Like crazy shit like that. I think those moments happen from what I've heard, but they are fewer and far between.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like when that sort of thing happens, you're like, holy shit, like remember how powerful Kratos is and what a sick bastard he is? So it like seems like they really know what they did well and what they didn't do well.
That's fantastic, though, and that's why I'm looking forward to it, because, you know, I never really liked the God of War games. I mean, you know, the first one, you know, I had fun with, you know, when it came out, you know, and the third one was beautiful, like, graphically and, like, mechanically, but, like, you said it perfectly, it was just so gratuitous, and I was just like, you know, I'm just running around ripping heads off.
Yeah, it's like you know, masturbatory and how violent it is.
No,
you know
exactly.
I mean? Like it's way over the top, and like
and
that was the appeal for a lot of people. But the way I think about these games is like in 2005 when that first game came out, something like that.
Something like that, I think so.
When that game came out, it was a time when critics of video games specifically weren't looking deeper. Really. Like, the games that came out that did have depth to it, you know, the few games, like Shadow of the Colossus was around that same time. It's like they were beloved for that reason, but they were like an outlier. You know what I mean? Like, critics were saying, holy shit, this game's so much fun to play. Look at the graphics. Look at how awesome this is. And it's like, it was a different time. So if they came out and put out another one like that, I think people would have been like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And everyone has evolved from that time. Like, the industry is getting older in the actual people working in the industry are getting older. And they're starting to like different things. The creative director of this game, Cory Barlog, he basically literally said, I'm a father now, and I can't help but put that into my game, and so I think these are interesting father-son relationships that I'm dealing with here. And in 2005, he didn't have a child.
Yeah.
He was like any other person that was like, yeah, look at this awesome shit that's happening on screen. And it's like, it's really interesting to think about the industry literally getting older as well as evolving in depth. You know what I mean? Like, they go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like, these guys... We didn't know at the time what could have been, and now we do, and we're like, let's try to go for something.
Seriously.
Here. Yeah. So, I mean, that makes me really excited for this game, and just, again, reading these reviews, and I'm just going to briefly go into a couple of them because I read Polygon's review that was actually really good. The ending of this, I'm just going to quickly read a little clip here.
That was beautiful, though. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's going to be... So, yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. The end of the Polygon review. A decade ago, Cory Barlog helped establish the God of War franchise as an iconic, gory, and debaucherous video game romp. While its anti-hero Kratos had pathos, killed his wife and daughter in a fit of rage, skinned forever gray by their ashes, it served little dramatic purpose, rather existing as a grim, dark excuse for his god-slaying and orgy-having ways. Barlog, now older and a father, has returned to the series with a bundle of talented designers, many of whom served on the earlier games, to make good on that rich but neglected potential at its core. There's still plenty of gore, but now the guts have meatiness.
Oh, I like that. 10.
You know, but that's the idea of, like, that's what I'm talking about here, where they were able to do what I wanted them to do.
Yeah.
And they were able to touch on that old stuff, and they know what they did right. They know the spectacle was amazing. They know the graphics were great. Like, they know what they did right, and they know what they're like kind of.
Well, they know that they
not
have
happy with.
they have something that they could explore and elaborate on. Yeah, it's Kratos.
But what's more interesting to me about this game is they didn't, because when they first announced the new God of War, new mythology, still Kratos, I was like, just fucking get rid of Kratos. Get a new guy in here. Still call it God of War. Make it a Norse guy.
Yeah.
Do a whole new thing. I'm like, why do we need this? I hate Kratos. He's a terrible character. But instead, they were like, we're going to own the fact that he's a shitty character, and we're going to make some development in that. And I think that's really interesting.
That's awesome.
Because I would have never thought of that, and that's why these guys are making the game. But I'm saying, like, I really like the idea of this arc where we know this guy, and we've never seen this side of him because he never had that.
No, he was just a one-note angry man.
But leaning into that is so interesting, isn't it? Like, being like, this dude actually is annoying and a fucking angry man.
Yeah.
And it's like, but let's
see if
let's
we can,
put other perspectives into his life and see if anything happens. And maybe at the end, nothing changes, but we got to at least see our way through it and see the little like groans that I'm sure he's going to be making along the way as Atreus is, talking shit to
like
him.
I just hope it's, I mean, apparently it is, but I just hope it's like, it's not like, family sitcom, Al Bundy just, kind of.
It's not going to be that, I'm sure. I mean, I think a lot of these reviews wouldn't be as high as they are. But, yeah, it seems like they did what I wanted them to do, even though if you had asked me when they announced it what I wanted them to do, it wasn't this. Which is the best thing you can say about a game. Yeah. It's like they knew what I wanted more than I knew what I wanted.
Well, that's the thing. For someone, like, if you said, oh, we're going to make a new God of War, I would have been like, oh, okay, I'm not even going to bother with it. But seeing all this stuff, hearing about it, it makes me interested.
I'm excited.
I'm
very excited.
Yeah, definitely.
I am definitely going to be playing this game. We probably won't be able to talk about it next week.
Oh, yeah, it comes out Friday.
Because it comes out on Friday. But the week after, we'll have impressions, no doubt.
100%.
Yeah. So I think with that, that'll leave us off for the week. But, yeah, like I said, catch us. We're here every Monday, 9 a.m.
Every Monday, 9 a.m.
Want to say thanks to Shelby, as always.
Shelby.
Appreciate it. And
thank you for watching.
What's up, guys? It's Dan from Circle Back. I'm just here to let you know you can find everything that we do at circlebackgaming.com. If you just want the podcast, we're on iTunes. If you just want the video, we're on YouTube. So catch us either place. Thanks.